Snowy with the Red Hair, Volumes 18 to 19 review. Back in Volume 17 of Snowy with the Red Hair, we learned that someone was attacking nobles, and Mitsuhide was arrested on suspicion of being the culprit. As it turns out, the true mastermind behind the plot is Toka Burgat, who's looking to restore his family name by killing Zen. So needless to say, as we reunite with our cast, we find them in the tough situation. Toka has even manipulated his twin brothers, Tariga and Soruba Burgat, into carrying out his plot. Suruba may have taken his side, but Zen manages to get Tariga on his side, which is all the more important when Mitsuhide and Kiki are out of commission. But Kiki has been sent for reinforcements. Together, Zen and Tariga have begin to fight off Toka and his men, but with the numbers against them, and Toka has set off a powerful drug to weaken everyone can then come out of his unharmed. With so much happening in this storyline, it ends up taking the whole of Volume 18. In fact, we never get to see any sign of our protagonist, Shiryuki, at all. But I'm glad author Sarada Akiduki had the confidence to take the story in this direction. Zen and his comrades are more than capable of being the center of a compelling storyline, and it's easier to follow their tale if you're not trying to switch perspectives to Shiryuki or include her in an arc she doesn't belong in. Another nice thing about this storyline is that it's packed with action scenes, which is not something we get to see that much of. Given Snowy with the red hair, it's set in a very peaceful world. This is certainly one of the few times where consecutive chapters have fight scenes in them. Again, I find myself pleased with this development because Akiduki's art is very polished now, and she has a good sense for depicting these fights and sequences in a way that draws the reader in and keeps them turning the page. By the time we get to Volume 19, the conflict with Toka has come to an end. To reweigh his efforts, Zen and his party are given some time of which Zen and Obi used to travel with Shiryuki back to Lilias. Meanwhile, Kiki returns to her family home with Mitsuhide, where the future of their relationship is finally decided. While this installment of the series is a lot more laid back than the one that came before it, it still proves an important turning point. Kiki confesses her feelings to Mitsuhide, but the response it gets in return is not one she or we readers suspect, but it's hard to be too unhappy with. It seems it's clear about how the author has broached the topic that she's put a lot of thought into how this will play out and how the motivations of the co-characters will be dictated. I also appreciate that just like Volume 18 was decided to do its storyline, this one too spends ample time in Mitsuhide and Kiki's arc, with only a brief chapter or two featuring Shiryuki and Zen's crew at the beginning and end of the book. And it feels like these stories are being given the time and attention they deserve, which is always nice to see. In many ways, it feels like these two books act as a turning point for the whole series. Storylines we've been following from the beginning, like Kiki and Mitsuhide's, are being wrapped up, while others are beginning anew. Toka's actions feel like the beginning of some political unrest in the world, while Zen begins to show forward in his roles as a prince, which is something I never expected this series to focus on, but I'm glad it does, because it's an interesting direction, and even if the plotline does prove to be a one-off, it has still caused ripple effects, and made Zen and the other characters think about their futures in a way they wouldn't have before. Certainly, I find myself excited to see what future books have in store for us. Snow White with the Red Hair, Volumes 18 and 19, come to the West, thanks to Viz Media, and continues to be translated by Caleb Cook. The translation reads well, no problems to note. Volume 20 of the series is available now, with Volume 21 following October. Overall, these two installments of Snowy with the Red Hair have something to offer every fan of the series, no matter what you have invested in. With some storylines coming to an end and new ones beginning, the future of the series continues to look bright. 9 out of 10.